doing my
Hey guys,
very first review.
So
Really
today
exciting.
I'm gonna be doing my very first review.
So really exciting.
Alright, so today I'm gonna be reviewing the anime. Oh boy, this is a long one. Sorry, but I gotta read it off my notebook because it is long. Well, the name anyways. Ore no imoto ga konani kawai wake ga nai. Or in simpler terms, Oreimo. Now, before I get to the review, I'll be giving off a little bit of information on the anime. Now, Oreimo is a 2-season anime, and to my knowledge, well, as of now, it's only been sub. You can only watch it with subtitles. There's no dub to it. Also, Oreimo is animated by Studio AIC Build and A1 Pictures. Okay, so on to the review. So, the premise of the story is sort of like this. Oreimo is an anime about Kyosuke Kosaka and his younger sister, Kirino Kosaka, and the current relationship as it is right now, which isn't a very good one. This is due to the fact that they don't really get along with each other, and it's more of Kirino's fault, you might say, that she doesn't really get along with her brother. He's just kind of there when the anime starts. But this all changes when Kyosuke finds an anime delivered to his house, and this anime is a magical girl type anime. And he's like, well, this isn't mine. Nobody here in my household watches anime. But later on, he finds out that his sister is a quote unquote otaku. I mean, she ends up sharing her, you might say, secret that she likes anime, she collects figures, and she's really into these eroge games, which are, well, which are the ones that she plays, are have to do with little sister. She has a weird little sister complex. I don't know. Okay. Now from there the story takes off, and pretty much the story is not very complicated. This is due to the fact that it kind of goes. When it starts, it just keeps going. Now, yeah, there's some things that happen in the anime, but not things that they come back to. And this is where my problems come with this anime. They give off really good situations, but then once they happen, they don't come back to it. Like, warning, these are spoilers if you don't want to watch, skip ahead. There's this one scene where her parents, Kirino's and Kyosuke's parents, find out that she is obsessed with anime. And her dad really gets mad because, he reads the news a lot that we know of. And he tells her, whoa, this is bad, you can't do this. And then after all that happens, that's it. They don't come back to it. I mean, this could have been a really interesting point of seeing, an anime's parents taking a role in this show, giving their, opinions on this. But they don't. They just, that happens and then, okay, next. Now, another thing is that there's this one scene where Kirino somehow manages to get one of her mangas animated. And yeah, okay, some stuff happens. But then, that's it. Once that happens, the show continues. They don't come back to it. Now, that would have been a really interesting, thing to see in the show. That an anime is being animated in an anime. But they don't come back to it. Now, putting that aside, coming back to the anime, the characters in the show, they're okay. Now, I'm saying okay because our main protagonists, they're okay. Now, they're okay because Kyosuke, he's the type of dude that says, ugh, I just want to have a normal life. That's not a good character trait. That's my big issue that I have with him. He acts like he doesn't even care. Yet, he does care. Kind of. Now, I'm using the word kind of and okay and stuff like that to describe um, characters and scenes and stuff, because they could have been done better in the anime, in my opinion. Now, coming back to Kirino Kosaka, she is an okay character, I guess. A big issue that I have with her is that I don't like the way they play her off in the anime. She comes off as very annoying and bratty, and then they try to use that as a character development trait as the show continues. And this continues all throughout the anime, from the first season to the second season. So, since I mentioned Kirino and Kyosuke, which are our protagonists in the show, I'm gonna be mentioning some of the characters in the show. Now, to start off, we got Manami. Now, Manami, she's a childhood friend of Kyosuke and Kirino. Yet, in the show, Kirino and Manami don't really get along. Now, this character, she's here and there in the show, so we don't really know much about her. We do know that she kind of likes Kyosuke, kind of, but they play off as, childhood friend where, oh, we're friends, we don't wanna, go out. But, yeah. Now, another thing to mention about Manami is her family. Oh my god, her family is hilarious. Her grandparents are, in my opinion, the funniest people in the show. They're hilarious. Like, there's this one scene where, spoilers, by the way. Like, there's this one scene where Kyosuke goes over to her house, and the grandpa's like, "Oh, you're here to marry my granddaughter now?" And, oh my god, he's just funny. And also, her younger brother, he's funny too. He ends up like shaving his head to look like a rock star, I don't know, he's funny too. Next, we have Ruri, aka Kuroneko. Now, she is probably my favorite character in the show. Now, she's a little bit interesting, and in my opinion, she's the only character that really gets a lot of character development. This is due to the fact that when she's introduced in the show, she's really like close, kind of like shy in a way, but she dresses up in these really dark clothes and stuff. And she also draws manga. She's really into anime, and she does a lot of things throughout the show that make her seem like a decent character, and she is compared to the rest of the cast. Now, a trait that I like about her is that she takes on a very motherly kind of trait when she's at home, and we get to see this a couple of times when she goes back home and she has to cook for her two younger sisters. Now, they're pretty funny too, and I like that. It makes her, she does her thing, but she also comes home and she knows what to do. She needs to clean the house, take care of her two sisters, cook for them, feed them, stuff like that. Now, that's a really good character, and that's one of the reasons I kind of like her as a character, that she has traits that are her own, that make her her. Now, another character in the show, we have Ayase. Now, Ayase, I have mixed feelings about her. She's an odd character. One, because she's a friend to Kirino, and in the show, they're seen as best friends because, they work together and they do go to school together. But Kirino doesn't, in the beginning, she doesn't really open up to her as much. Yeah, they're friends, but she doesn't really know Kirino, like the otaku Kirino. She just knows Kirino from school, Kirino that does her homework, Kirino that's sportive. That's all she knows. She doesn't really know her, by heart. Now, she, in the show, she comes off as a little annoying. Now, this is seen when she like kind of hits Kyosuke a lot, when she calls him like pervert. I don't know. I don't like that. I didn't really like her as a character. I find her kind of annoying. Now, there's several other minor characters that pop up here and there in the anime, but they don't really like stay in the show. They come into the show and then they leave and then they come and then stuff like that. They just appear and then disappear. Now that's also a problem I have with the show. The characters, once they have, let's say, an episode, they disappear and then they come back. They don't frequently stay in the show except for, you know, our main protagonist Kirino and Kyosuke. Now coming back to them, I have a bit of a, I wouldn't say issue with their relationship, but their relationship isn't the best. Now, keep in mind, this is, you know, my opinion. If you don't, you know, like it or whatever, you don't have to accept it. It's just, you know, my opinion. But I don't like the way the show portrays them as potential quote unquote lovers, if you want to say that, because they do get into like a bit of an incestuous relationship. Now, if you don't know what incest is, it's when a brother and a sister do the naughty together. Okay, so they play that off throughout the show. Like Kyosuke might like Kirino and Kirino might like him. Now, it's that to me isn't a very big issue, but my issue with it is that if you're going to show that in the show, you have to like confront it in the way that if you're playing that off in the show that they might like each other, put some time into, yeah, maybe they should be together and then from there, you know, expand the relationship. But don't just poke at people like, oh guys, they might like each other, watch out, and then the show ends. So that's an issue that I have with the show. Now, looking at the show and watching it, I myself had an okay time with it. There were some times, like the first season of the show, that I was banging my head on my desk saying to myself, what am I watching? But then the second season came along, and in my opinion, the second season is definitely way better than the first season. And this is due to the fact, like any other show or series, you have to have the first part to make the second part better. And it works. Kind of. Now, in my opinion, the second half of the second season is definitely better. And this is due to the fact that there's a lot of character development, if you might say that, in episodes 8, 9, and 10, I believe. Those episodes are definitely decent. We get some good character development, and also we get some character development from Kirino and Kyosuke that would have been useful at the beginning of the show, not the end. In the second season, there's a scene where it kind of explains why Kirino doesn't like Kyosuke and why she stopped talking to him. I don't know, a little late much, but that should have been in the beginning to make the relationship explanation more explained, if you get what I'm saying. Now, coming back to my previous point about Kirino and Kyosuke and the show. Now, going throughout the show, like I've mentioned, it was an okay anime, but when I stepped back from the show and looked at it from afar and started thinking about it, the seed of the problems that I've had with the show is Kirino. Kirino is not a good character. In fact, in my opinion, she was the worst character in the show. Now, if you don't agree with me, it's okay. I'm just sharing this with everyone. I don't like the way she acts. She acts bratty, she acts self-centered, she's selfish. And this is seen when, I believe it's the first season. I think it's in the earlier episodes. Spoilers, by the way. She goes to this anime convention, right? With all her friends. Then she sees Ayase in that convention. I think she was working there or something. But when she sees Ayase, she ends up rejecting her friends that she's with, her otaku friends, you know, Kuroneko. and she ends up talking bad about them, like just completely dissing them. I didn't like that. And then to make it even worse, they don't even come back to it. They don't. She doesn't even apologize to them. She doesn't apologize to her friends that she was talking bad about them, because Aya said her friend that she doesn't know that she's an otaku was there. Ayase ends up asking her, hey, what are you doing here? And she ends up like throwing her bag and then saying, oh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm just here. And then she's like, and then Aya says like, oh yeah, look at these otakus, talking bad about them. And she herself talks bad about them. And her friends end up walking away. They were like, let's just go. And they don't even come back to it, which is a really big issue I had with the show was Kirino. She was a bad character. Well, anyways, guys, to finish off this review, I'm gonna be giving Oreimo a score of 3 out of 5 stars. It's an okay anime. If it sounds interesting to you, go ahead and watch it. Have at it. But if not, you don't have to watch it. It's passable. There's better shows out there that you can watch. This one, if you want, it's up to you. If you want to watch it, go ahead. But in my opinion, it's an okay anime. Will I watch it again? No, not really, but maybe. I doubt it. So guys, before you go, let me add a little comment to the end of, my review. Well, first off, thanks for watching my first review on my anime Oreimo. But I wanted to add that for those of you, if you're wondering, why did I pick to review Oreimo for my first anime review out of, all the other animes out there? Well, the reason why I reviewed Oreimo first is because Oreimo was the first anime that I watched knowing it was a Japanese animated show. Just a little something. So it's not really a special anime for me, but just to how do I put this? Watch my first anime that I knew was an anime. So I reviewed, the first anime that I knew was an anime. I don't know, just a little something I wanted to do. Well, anyway guys, thanks for watching my review. And hey, if you liked it, leave a like. And if you, like what I'm going to do in the future with more reviews or other content that I'm gonna put out, subscribe. I'm definitely gonna put out more, videos and stuff. So if you liked it, leave a like. And if you want, hey, subscribe. Well, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.